pure and small. He created you, He created us all. Hush, little baby, don't you fear. We're never alone when Allah's so near. Hush, little baby, breathing so calm. He'll protect us all and keep us from harm. Hush, little baby, still and serene. You are a Muslim, Islam's your deen. Hush, little baby, pure and small.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. Dear viewers everywhere on the globe, you're welcome to this program, which is under the issue of teaching. Can we teach more effectively? Can we teach effectively? It sounds like as if we are talking to teachers only, but in reality we're talking to teachers and parents and even students, because when the students know quality of good teaching, they can even give some good feedback to the teachers to improve their quality of teaching. And parents, because the default of parents, they are teachers, and that's why they can benefit from this. We mentioned some good qualities of teachers. One of them is the interactive class, and we talked about how it should be three-dimensional, from students to teacher, from students to students, from teacher to students. It should be like this. It shouldn't be one way or even two ways, but it should be three-way, as we said. The other point we talked about is, can you remind me? Distributive focus. We said that the focus is no longer focused on knowledge. Now it's distributed to have some on knowledge, some on concepts, and some on skills. And even we suggested something more. What is it? Do you remember? The learned lessons. We can even add something to this. What are the learned lessons? Right. And we will cover this when we talk about the plenary or the recap that's done at the end of any lesson, inshallah. Today we're going to talk about a new feature. When we enter a class and we find the teacher is using a wide variety of teaching methods. A wide variety of teaching methods. So, first of all, what does this mean? That means that the teacher does not stick to one method of teaching. One time he's using lecturing, one time he uses interactivity, one time he would make a mix between the theoretical and practical, one time he would make presentation and using audiovisual. So there should be a variety of methods used in the classroom. Let's ask ourselves, what is the rationale behind this? The rationale behind this is that we as human beings are different. Some of us, they have different learning styles. Some of us learn better by visuals. Some of us learn better by listening. Some of us learn better even by playing, and I focus on the word playing. And that's why there are many books that talk about playing in class while learning, having fun, particularly in teaching languages, and you can apply it. And we hope, inshallah, we find an opportunity to suggest one or two games that can be used in Islamic education. In languages, there are many games. There are many books in the market under language games. And even some of these games can be used in teaching any other subject. So the rationale behind this is because we are different, we learn in different ways, and the more variety of teaching methods is used in the classroom, the more possible that we learn better. You see, so we are trying to address the needs of all students who have different learning styles. Is this clear? Does it need explanation? Okay, definitely you will find that some people say that I love to learn when I write notes. When I take notes, I learn better because I go home and review them. And some people don't like this, just don't want to listen. Some people want to see something going on the screen while they are writing or not. So we are different, as we said. So it's very important to see the teachers using these different methods according to their, and when I say methods, and I mean methods, strategies, techniques, some small invention here and there And we will try to apply these today to fiqh and hadith because we didn't talk a lot about this. I will give you some examples as we used to do, and then I will leave the floor for you. First, I will relate to one experience that I learned from Dr. Walid Basyouni. Perhaps you are aware of him. He told me about this experience when he taught a course in Al-Maghrib. I was not there, but I liked it very much. So, alhamdulillah, I still remember it, and I wish that you benefit from it. He was teaching a course to perhaps 200 students. And when you're dealing with 200 students, sometimes it's different from dealing with a small number, because I think the best tool for addressing a lot of people is what? Is to lecture them and allow some sort of questions from here and there. But if you allow each student 1 minute to ask a question, right, you will never have a chance to say what you want because they require 200 minutes. Anyway, he said that at the end of the course was talking about manners, Islamic manners. When he ended the course, he asked students he gave each student 2 balloons. Balloon. Yes, I like the idea very much. I gave them yellow balloon and blue balloon. And he asked each of them to write the good thing on the yellow balloon, the most important good quality that he has, or if he wants to write many more, it's okay. But the minimum was good quality that he thinks that he has. And in the blue balloon, he would or she would write the bad manners that he or she, yes, had. Do you understand now? So each one of them wrote, they were mixed together, and then he said that each one of you now would take 2 balloons, 1 yellow and 1 blue. And they went outside the playground, and they, all of them together, under Allahu Akbar, all of them released the balloons. They went to the sky. Some of them went up and some of them remained. The blue ones went high because what he didn't teach the students is that he put helium in them. So they went, and the other ones, they didn't have helium. Students couldn't know in the beginning. So they remained here. So what remained was the good qualities, and the message here is that we already got rid of the bad messages. So this is the lesson that he wanted to tell the students. Now you got rid of all bad qualities that you have. Now focus on the good qualities. I think it's a wonderful technique. Yes, I learned from a lot. I didn't have a chance to do it in my life, but inshallah, I hope one time I will do it. So this is an experience of another person. Maybe one day you may take this technique and apply it differently. Now I will tell you an example always been dreaming of. If I'm teaching fiqh in a university level, how would I teach it in order to fight the concept of being biased to one particular madhab, whether it's Hanafi madhab or Shafi'i or Hanbali or Maliki? What would be the best way to do this? One of my ideas is that I can divide the students in the class into 4 groups. So each group would be responsible whenever I raise a question that they would give me the answer. This group would give me the answer of the Maliki all the time. They would forget everything. They would only give me the answer of Imam Malik, right? And this group would give me the answers of Imam Shafi'i, right? Shafi'iyya. This group would give me the answer of Hanabila. This group would give me the answer of, right, who's left? Hanafi. So, and the whole 2 months, the first 2 months or the first semester, go like this, okay? So you just think like Hanafiya, or you just think like Shafi'i only. You're not allowed to think, to give me an opinion of another, yes, madhab. So you live the madhab. And by the end, right, you give me the guidelines that made you think this madhab is good. And you give me the guidelines of the madhab that you have followed in giving me these answers. And then after 2 months, you rotate. You were representing Hanafiya, now you are representing Shafi'iyya, right? You start thinking like Imam Shafi'i according to the guidelines that Imam Shafi'i had, and all the responses from you would represent this madhab. You do the same thing. So after 2 months, again, we will do the same thing. We rotate again. And in the last 2 months, we rotate again. So in 1 year, you have gone through the methodology of each madhab. You thought like them, and you gave me the guidelines why you followed this and why you liked this madhab. And finally, we come here and we find all the guidelines from all those madhab, and we put them in front of us in order to see how those people thought. Now the question to you, do you think that this is a good method to teach the madhab? Or are you still biased to one madhab now? Anyway, it's a way of thinking, and I think it would be very effective to remove the issue of ta'assub, being biased to any of these madhab. Now it's your turn to tell me your stories about teaching methods. Tell me something that you have used and you have done, a technique that you have done in your class that you think that it's a wonderful thing and you want to share it with other people. I'm quite sure that all of you have done. One technique that you have made that you were so proud of it and you want to share it with others. Millions of people will learn from you right now. So now tell me, what have you done in your life, in your teaching career, that's something unique that you think that you were so well prepared, you benefited the students, you used a technique or a method, right, that would help others. I'll give you an opportunity to think in the break, because we are going to take a break very soon. So spend some time on this. If you don't want to work by yourself, you can work with your neighbor. Okay, so if you're not a teacher, so you can work with your neighbor and would benefit from him. We'll take a break right now, and inshallah we'll come back after a few minutes. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Your presenter, Mamdouh Mohammed.
Hush, little baby, breathing so calm, breathing so calm.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome back. I hope that you enjoyed your break, and we'll continue talking about this. I gave some examples before that about my experience in life, and I gave some techniques that I used to share it with others. I expect you now to give me some of your thoughts and experience that you are proud of. Who's going to be the first? Something that you have done, a teaching technique that you think that people will benefit from it.
Brother, I teach the primary section. They're very small children, and
Speak up.
They're very innocent children. I teach primary section.
Primary
small,
section.
Yes.
It's very important to mention the grade that you're teaching, yes, or the level, yes.
And brother, it was the month of Ramadan, and
It was a month of Ramadan, yes.
And I wanted to inculcate the concept of charity, sadaqah, and so we made charity box out of any waste box. Each one of them they made, and they collected money throughout the month of Ramadan.
Inside the class. Okay.
And no, they took it at home.
Okay.
And before the Eid day, they gave it to the needy person, maybe their servant or some relative who was in need. So in this way,
can we call it religion in action?
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
okay. Teaching a fiqh concept, right, or Islamic concept in action by doing it. This is good. Very good. Okay. Did you get some responses from the parents? Did you get some responses from the teachers, from the students, how they felt about it?
Yes, brother. Alhamdulillah. Most of the teachers, they appreciated it, and the parents were, very enthusiastic in it.
Okay.
And they were proud of their children, and it was their own pocket money.
Okay.
They did not burden the parents, so
Good.
it was sacrifice from their own self, the little ones.
Jazakallah.
It was very, Alhamdulillah, very satisfying.
Jazakallah khair. Okay. Another one here.
In our Dawah training program, one of the activities are to recall the names of the surah and their meanings.
The name of the surah.
And its meanings.
Okay, its
and
meaning.
Their meanings, yes.
Good.
So the first Dawah training program, which was conducted 10 years ago, one of the participants completed in 6 minutes.
In 6 minutes.
140 surahs.
140?
14. 114 surah with meanings. In 6 minutes.
The name of the chapter and the meaning.
Yes, Surah Fatiha, the opening, chapter number 1, like that.
So it's a recall, right?
Yes.
It was based in memory.
The next year, we told the students, the next batch, about the record. So they tried to break the record.
Okay.
It was
in
4 minutes, 48 seconds.
Okay.
Then came the third batch, the students of IIS.
Okay.
Then we had somebody in 4 minutes, 48 seconds, then 3 minutes.
Okay.
I think the latest record is around 3 minutes.
Okay. Perhaps my question was not very clear. I hope you give me some examples of even using the method, different methods in the class. Okay. Some of them were group, some of them, for example, this is an action, this is based on memory. If you have other examples, please let me know. Good. Who is next? Yes, please. Go ahead.
This is one more experience that I had.
What grade? Tell me about the grade of the student.
About seventh and eighth grades.
Primary, okay.
Wherein this was also during the Dawa training program, wherein we had them speak impromptu on any specific topic related to Islam that was for the topic. And then we would stop them midway and tell them to speak against what they were speaking.
Against what they were speaking.
What they were speaking.
So they changed their opinion.
So they changed sides just at like as soon as we told them. So
Okay.
that sharpened up their minds and that checked their quick thinking.
Okay, I hope it didn't change their beliefs.
No, not at all. We took care of that.
What was the purpose? What was the rationale behind this?
To enable quick thinking to a person and to also so that the students know what the other person can put the counters to some of the Islamic topics, mainly non-Muslims.
What is the wisdom that the same person would do the two jobs?
Quick thinking.
Quick thinking. Okay, if you reflect upon it, may it have some negative impact on the person himself? He would be able to change his mind very quickly? What do you think? Now let him.
I didn't get your question.
The question is, if the same person doing the changes, it may have some impact, negative impact on himself in the future, that he would be changing his mind very quickly.
No, we took care of that, and
How did you do
alhamdulillah,
that?
the Aqidah of the students at IIS is very strong, alhamdulillah. It won't be
Okay.
affected by these things.
Remember, all these experiences are human experiences. They are not from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, okay? And also we have to see, has the Prophet ﷺ ever done something like this? So we all the time, because sometimes when we be too creative to think of something that may not be good. The Prophet ﷺ was the best teacher. I can find many examples in the history of the Prophet ﷺ to teach people by action, yes. So we have to guard ourselves against this. Another experience. Yes. Another experience, this part. Yes.
Sheikh, once it happened that we had to go for a field work, and this was for the 5th grade.
Fifth grade.
Yes.
Primary again.
Primary again, and we had gone to an orphanage.
Orphanage.
Yes, and this was a...
Now she's talking about field work, right? Good.
And here, this was new to this, the concept was new for the students, as they weren't aware
The
how it-
orphanage. Okay.
Orphanage as in what takes place over there. They have
Okay, what happens in the orphanage?
what
Yes.
happens.
Okay.
So there was this little child who was a day old over there. She had just come in, and she was crying for her mother, just because it's by the cops that they had got the child over there. And the students just went up to them. First initiative was a child going up to her and saying, "Don't cry, your mother's going to come," and all. So she was trying to do a counseling to it, and it was a really good experience which we had, mashallah.
Jazakallah khairan. Okay.
So she was implementing.
Yeah, it's very good to let the students feel the feeling of other people. Empathy here, yes, not just sympathy, but it is empathy. Good. Did you relate it to the curriculum? Or was it isolated, just when you want to make a field trip and you took the students to the orphanage? Or,
Yes. We also have a lesson plan behind this.
Okay.
The motive, because this is more of an educational trip.
okay,
So if you go over there, what did you learn from that?
very good.
And if you're speaking and if you're consoling, what does this relate in Islamic way? So this all covers up.
Wonderful. What I wanted to say here is that it would be good if it comes after teaching them the surah that says, Alam yajidka yatiman fa'awa. When we have explained the surah and they understood the meaning of being yatim, right? And you wanted to give them a practical feeling of being a yatim. This would be, that's what I meant by
Yes.
relating the field trip, right, that you made to the lesson that you are teaching. Do you see the point here? We want to link them between Islam and what they studied and what is in reality. This would be very good. I'm opening your minds now to things like this. Any field trip, and I will talk about this again in a separate one, any field trip should serve the curriculum, should support the curriculum, should enrich the curriculum. So there would be some links. Now here is a quite obvious link between what's taught in class and what is in real life. Good. Other examples? Yes, please.
There was this lesson to be taught to standard 6 students.
6 students.
The importance.
Grade 6.
Grade 6.
Okay. Nobody teaches higher grades? Who teaches higher grades? No one? Okay.
I
Good.
teach the higher grades too.
Okay.
So this was this lesson to teach the students about the hadith of saying Bismillah before eating.
Okay, very good.
So I went into the class, and the first thing which I did was I distributed some chocolates to all the students.
Okay.
And I gave them the instructions.
I wish you do this in this class. Okay.
I gave them the instructions that no one's going to eat the chocolate until I say. And when I give the call, everyone's going to eat it together.
Okay.
So they all did it when I gave them the call. And then I began with my chapter on saying Bismillah. And if anyone forgets saying Bismillah in the beginning, he can very well say Bismillah fi awwalihi wa akhirihi in between. And then at the end, I questioned them. How many of you said Bismillah before eating the chocolate? Be sincere. So few of them raised their hands, the others did not. Then I gave them the lesson that look, if you don't say Bismillah before eating, then the Satan partakes in your meal. Hence, remember this, always before eating, say Bismillah.
Okay, and you give them feedback to say Bismillah awwaluhu wa akhiruhu. Okay, so this is good. Again, learning by practice. Learning by practice. Okay, back to academics a little bit before I come here. One time I was interviewed in one of the universities. Yes, and I got the job, alhamdulillah. Anyway, so I was asked to teach reading. Again, this is very important. So the way I taught reading, so I wanted to be very effective to show them that I can use the time very effectively. So I had a long passage to teach. So I cut them into pieces, into paragraphs, 1, 2, 3, 5, and I distributed them. Each group would read, there were two students. They would read one paragraph only. I would make the beginning, right? And I ask each one of them, if you feel that your paragraph would continue after, your mission is to sum up the paragraph in one line. And you have to focus to see whether this paragraph is your turn or not. So I began with the first paragraph, right? And after giving them 2 minutes to study, to read the paragraph they have to, right? What happens here is that, okay, they begin, and the other people would say their sentence, and they would complete. So it was almost in less than 7 minutes, we read the passage. What happened here is each group studied only one paragraph, but collectively they studied the whole text. Do you see what's happening? And instead of spending 20 minutes, right, reading the whole thing, no, each group studied only one paragraph and summed it up in 1 minute. So it was a new activity for them. They didn't see this before, and because of this, I got the job. So this is a new technique of teaching reading. It's not necessarily to teach reading by, yes, all the time the teacher would make the reading. It was reading comprehension. The focus was on comprehension. So here, I'm changing the technique from time to time to teach reading in different ways. So this, again, was an enrichment to the classes and a different way of teaching reading. It's time to finish now, but I'm quite sure that we will continue in another episode. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Mamdouh Mohammed.